I am scared. Are you? Maybe if you're on this authenticity journey, becoming your authentic self with me, you might have reached a point where things becomes a little bit scary. I've had this like unease of a feeling for a few days, and I know it's about all of these new habits that I'm doing, all of these new things, starting to doubt this new goal, this new direction, this new authenticity, and starting to kind of battle my own inner critic on this. And it's hard, right? And it makes me a bit scared because I've tried to do transformations before, I've done things, and I've always kind of ended up back, and it hurts, to be honest. So, one of the things in my process of becoming more authentic is about being bold and realistic with myself, and meaning that I also have a lot of focus on my inner dialogue, which I'm usually horrible at, but I've been really good at it now. So, catching these feelings and thoughts, and then instead of just saying, than actually thinking about them. So my process right now was, okay, how do I deal with this? How do I deal with the fact that I am kind of scared of where I am in the process, that I am like, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for an audience? Am I doing this for my family? Why am I actually doing this? Because one, if I'm doing this for me, there's a subject of self-worth here that I'm like starting, am I even worth doing this for? If I'm doing this for audience, potential clients, current clients, all these things, it's like, okay, that can make sense. The question becomes, do I want to share that journey, or do I just want to already seem extremely successful and try to have like portray this image of myself where I know everything? And I don't. I promise you, I really don't. Because it's this mix between telling the authentic story and being that a lot ahead role model that people will follow. And then for the family part, it is, am I spending my time and then my energy correctly in terms of my family, in terms of providing for my family? So all of these kind of doubts and questions are super up in my mind right now. And one of the really interesting things is that the past few days, while these thoughts have kind of accumulated a little bit, I've also, on the other hand of that, had this like immense feeling of pride in myself that I have been sticking to my plan. I've just had a super productive week where it's been more about producing stuff and doing things where it's the fact that I've done it. It's not how many likes, how many. And yes, I do celebrate you. If you've seen one of my few other videos, if you've seen one of my prior videos about celebrating the small wins and celebrating 20 subscribers, yes, I do that. But this week I've really been proud of the work I've put in. And so the interesting thing for me here, it's kind of what way is the scale tipping? Because it's on the one side being proud of what I've done, and on the other side being scared of if that will continue, if I can keep up with that new self, or if I'm gonna slip back into old habits. I don't know. Do you ever feel like that? I would love to know, because sometimes I also feel a little bit alone in that feeling. What I also want to say here is that I think the difference between now and previously is also that I'm becoming aware. So my thought process right now, I've kind of caught myself in the process of starting to downward spiral. So I have an agreement with my husband of being like, babe, I need you to starting to communicate clearer. That's one thing with each other, but also being like, babe, I need you to help me right now. I want you, when we are eating dinner or lunch or whatever we're doing, when we're sitting down together, I need you to kind of remember or remind me and hype me a little bit at the moment, because I have a bit of self-doubt. I'm struggling a little bit right now. And he's so fucking proud of me for what I've already achieved. Like, he can see my mood, he can see the things that I'm doing, and it's just nice, right? So keeping him in that loop. And also, if we then go to the third thing that I was talking about in terms of doing this for my family, it's like, and I'm going to jump a little bit here because it is both the personal journey, but also the business journey, right? So doing this for my families, yes, the being a healthier me, being a more authentic me, because those two things go very much together as well, because the mental health part of it is so, so important. So one thing is the exercise, the food, all of that, but the mental health part of it. And for me, part of that is being authentic. And if we go back to the joy tipping point, I think the chat was called in Fail Fast, Fail Often, it's about getting that joy into your life, right? So that part of the puzzle and doing this for my family is I'm doing this not for the money, not for, yes, I need to provide for my family. I need to be able to, of course, do this and provide for my family at the same time. But I need to do that with authenticity. And when I can manage that, I'm happier. And that makes my family happy, right? When my husband can see that I'm happy, he becomes happy for me and also just happy himself because it's also a little bit contagious, right? So it's really about me even being scared, keeping on track and keeping up with the things that I'm already doing is a good thing. So it might not, business wise, the very most obvious best decision right now, I'll come back to that in a moment, but I already see benefits in my private life. I already see benefits in my own mental health. And that's why I'm so scared of falling back, right? So I really need to keep the wins and the potential future wins top of mind. And I need to celebrate the small wins along the way. And one of those small wins for me is making this video for you right now and being vulnerable, and it might not get any views. It might not, like, it doesn't matter. It would be nice, right? But it doesn't really matter because the win is that I'm fucking doing this and I'm sitting here and being honest about being in a kind of vulnerable place with my own process, my own thought process. And that is a fucking huge win. I just have to say. And then going back to the business side, like doing this for the views, for the money, for the everything. And it's like, I do have a business that I'm running. I do have, and I'm building on that, right? I do have a community that I've started to build nice and slow, very few people yet, but it's building, right? And my reasoning, what I need to remember right now, because this is also from a business perspective, and this also goes into the emotional perspective, because I have this tendency to chase the dopamine and like, how many subscribers did I get? How many comments? How many likes? And for the past few days, there's been like 0. And it's okay. Because right now, for the business side of it, it's about taking care of the clients I have. It's about producing. It's about the process and being proud of the process, being proud of this being day, whatever, I think 11. Yes, day 11 that I am putting out a video on this channel. And that is insane. I heard recently from Sean Kennel, is that his name? I think so. That most YouTubers or YouTube channels reach or they quit by video 22. So short-term goal right now is 30 videos. I know that I have a goal of, I've already told you about this, 1,000 subscribers, all that. But for the process part of it, for right now, I just like that goal because I also know myself well enough that I do need to have a goal. I need to focus more on enjoying the process, but I also need to have a goal. So that process is super important to me. Or the fact that I need to be aware of the process and enjoy the process, celebrate the wins. I have no idea if this video helps you in any way, but it helps me. And hopefully it can also inspire you. And I think that that is part of authenticity to me, to actually be open with these like struggles and things along the way. And then hopefully inspire you as well. Because I made this video and because I'm proud of myself, I'm gonna say with fucking excitement, take care and have an amazing day. See ya.